In every romantic relationship, love is the foundation that holds two people together. It's built on trust, respect, affection, and emotional connection. When love is alive and thriving, partners feel seen, valued, and deeply connected to one another. However, relationships are complex, and feelings can change over time. Sometimes, the love that once burned brightly starts to fade quietly and subtly. Instead of dramatic fights or clear breakups, the signs that a partner's love is waning often come in small, silent ways that are easy to overlook or misinterpret. Recognizing these silent signs is crucial because they offer early warnings about the state of your relationship. When you understand these subtle cues, you can address problems before they grow too big or decide whether it's time to reconsider your future together. Ignoring these signs often leads to confusion, hurt, and disappointment, as you might hold on to hope while the emotional distance quietly expands. One of the challenges in identifying fading love is that it rarely announces itself loudly. Partners might still say, "I love you," share space, or go through daily routines together, creating an illusion that everything is fine. Yet, underneath this surface, emotional withdrawal and disconnection can be taking root. This emotional fading often manifests as changes in behavior, communication, and attitudes that signal a partner's heart is not as engaged as before. For example, small but meaningful actions like showing interest in your day, making eye contact, or celebrating your successes may start to disappear. Conversations become shorter or forced, physical affection dwindles, and your partner might avoid spending quality time together. These shifts, while subtle, chip away at the intimacy and warmth that sustain a loving relationship. In addition to behaviors, the emotional tone of interactions often changes. Compliments may turn into criticism, warmth into coldness, and expressions of love into empty routines. Your partner might share personal thoughts with others instead of you, or make excuses to avoid being close. Over time, these silent signs accumulate and create a growing sense of loneliness, even when you're physically together. Feeling lonelier with your partner than when you're alone is perhaps one of the most heartbreaking indicators that something has shifted deeply. Love is supposed to bring comfort and connection, but when it leaves, it can leave behind a profound emptiness and disconnection that is hard to ignore. Understanding and acknowledging these silent signs is not about jumping to conclusions or giving up prematurely. It's about tuning into the emotional reality of your relationship and giving yourself the chance to address the issues honestly. Sometimes, awareness of these signs leads to important conversations that rekindle love and rebuild intimacy. Other times, it helps you recognize when a relationship no longer serves your well-being and happiness. In this guide, we explore 15 silent ways to recognize when your partner may no longer truly love you, even if they say otherwise. These signs serve as a compassionate wake-up call to pay attention to your emotional needs and take steps toward clarity, healing, and either restoration or moving forward with confidence. Love should bring joy and connection, and knowing when it's fading is the first step to protecting your heart. 1. They stop asking about your day or showing interest in your life. When someone truly loves you, they naturally show curiosity and care about your life, your thoughts, and your feelings. They want to know how your day went, what made you smile, or what upset you. It's not just about gathering information. It's about maintaining emotional closeness and feeling connected to your world. When this disappears, it can be one of the clearest and most silent signs that the love has faded or that emotional distance has crept in. If your partner no longer asks about your day, it may seem small at first, but over time, it leaves you feeling unnoticed and unimportant. Conversations that once felt warm and engaging now feel hollow or even non-existent. The "how was your day" that once opened the door to deeper talks might be replaced with silence, a distracted nod, or even no acknowledgement at all. This shift isn't just a change in routine. It reflects a decline in emotional investment. In many cases, people stop asking because they no longer feel motivated to be part of the other person's daily world. It might be that their attention is elsewhere, perhaps focused on work, hobbies, or even another relationship. Sometimes it's a sign of emotional withdrawal, where one partner is quietly detaching without openly admitting it. This lack of interest creates a slow but steady erosion of intimacy. You might find yourself keeping things to yourself, not because you want to, but because you know they won't listen with genuine care. When the love is strong, partners make an effort to bridge any gap, even on the busiest days. They check in, they listen, and they respond with empathy. When the effort disappears, it can leave you feeling emotionally abandoned. The danger here is that over time, you may start to feel like your life and experiences no longer matter to them, which can lead to resentment, sadness, and even self-doubt. This change is rarely about one missed conversation. It's about a pattern that signals something deeper. Love thrives on connection, and when a partner stops showing interest in your day, it's often because the emotional bond that once fueled those questions is no longer as strong. The silence speaks volumes, even if no harsh words are spoken. 2. Eye contact becomes rare or feels empty when it happens. When someone loves you deeply, their eyes often reveal their feelings through warmth, attention, and connection. Eye contact is a powerful, silent language of affection. It creates intimacy and trust, letting you feel seen and valued without words. But when eye contact becomes rare or feels empty, it's a subtle yet meaningful sign that emotional distance is growing between you and your partner. If your partner once looked at you with genuine interest but now avoids your gaze, it can feel unsettling. They may glance away quickly, stare blankly, or seem distracted even when looking at you. This absence of meaningful eye contact suggests they are withdrawing emotionally. It's like the spark that once lit up their eyes when they saw you has dimmed or vanished. Empty eye contact happens when someone looks at you but without feeling or connection behind the gaze. Their eyes may be open, but there's no warmth, no focus, and no recognition of your presence. It can feel as if you're talking to a stranger or distant acquaintance rather than someone who truly cares about you. This can be confusing and hurtful because eye contact is one of the most fundamental ways humans bond. The reason for this change varies. Sometimes, a partner may be emotionally checked out, struggling with their own issues, or avoiding intimacy because they no longer feel the same love. Other times, it might reflect discomfort or guilt, making it hard for them to meet your eyes honestly. Whatever the cause, the lack of genuine eye contact signals a breakdown in the emotional connection. In relationships, consistent and meaningful eye contact helps build trust and empathy. When it fades, it creates a barrier that's hard to cross. You might feel ignored, unseen, or even invisible, which can gradually erode your sense of security and belonging. While a missed glance here and there is normal, a pattern of rare or empty eye contact is a silent alarm. It often means that your partner's feelings have shifted and the emotional intimacy you once shared is slipping away. 3. Physical affection like hugs or holding hands fades away. Physical affection is one of the most natural and comforting ways partners show love and connection. Simple acts like hugging, holding hands, or gentle touches speak volumes without words. They create warmth, safety, and a sense of closeness. When these small but meaningful gestures start to fade away, it often signals that the emotional bond between partners is weakening. When your partner stops initiating hugs or holding your hand, it can feel like a sudden chill settling between you. It's not just about missing the physical touch. It's about feeling a loss of intimacy and reassurance. Those touches remind you that you're cared for and valued. Without them, even everyday moments can feel distant and lonely. The fading of physical affection often happens gradually, making it easy to overlook at first. Maybe a hug lasts a little shorter, or hand-holding happens less frequently. Over time, these little changes add up to a significant emotional gap. Your partner may seem reluctant to be close or may pull away when you try to connect physically, which can be confusing and hurtful. There are many reasons this can happen. Sometimes it's because feelings have cooled, and the desire to express love physically diminishes along with emotional warmth. Other times, stress, exhaustion, or personal issues can affect physical closeness temporarily. But if the pattern persists, it often points to deeper problems in the relationship. Physical affection is more than just touch. It's a nonverbal language of love and connection. When it disappears, it can leave you feeling rejected or unwanted, even if words say otherwise. It signals a shift in how your partner relates to you and can be a silent but powerful sign that the love and closeness you once shared are fading. Recognizing this sign early can help you address the underlying issues before emotional distance grows too wide. It's a call to pay attention to how you both connect, not just emotionally but physically, and to communicate openly about your needs and feelings. 4. They spend more time on their phone than engaging with you. When a partner begins spending more time on their phone than engaging with you, it's a subtle but telling sign that their focus and interest might be drifting away. Phones can be a big distraction in modern relationships, but when scrolling social media, texting, or playing games regularly takes priority over spending quality time together, it signals emotional distance. In the early stages of a relationship, partners often make an effort to be present, putting phones aside to listen, laugh, and connect. But if you notice your partner consistently glued to their screen during conversations, meals, or shared activities, it can feel like you're competing with a device for their attention. This lack of engagement can make you feel invisible or unimportant. Using the phone excessively is often a way to avoid real interaction, especially if emotions are complicated or if someone is pulling away. Instead of facing difficult conversations or showing affection, they retreat into their digital world. This withdrawal can lead to a breakdown in communication, making it harder to maintain intimacy. The emotional impact of this behavior is significant. Feeling ignored while your partner is absorbed in their phone can create feelings of loneliness, frustration, and insecurity. It may raise questions in your mind about where you stand in their priorities. Over time, this pattern chips away at the bond you share and can erode trust and closeness. It's important to remember that occasional phone use is normal, but the key is balance and presence. When phone time regularly replaces meaningful connection, it signals that the emotional investment is fading. Recognizing this sign early can encourage you to have an open conversation about your needs and boundaries around phone use, helping to rebuild attention and intimacy in the relationship before the distance grows too wide. 5. Conversations feel forced, short, or avoided altogether. When conversations with your partner start to feel forced, short, or avoided altogether, it's a quiet but powerful sign that the emotional connection between you is weakening. In a healthy relationship, communication flows naturally, whether you're sharing your thoughts, dreams, or even daily mundane details. It's the glue that keeps you close. But when talking becomes a chore or something to dodge, it signals deeper issues. Forced conversations happen when one or both partners feel obligated to speak but don't actually want to engage. You might find yourself trying to start talks, only to be met with one-word answers, distracted responses, or silence. The ease and warmth that once defined your chats vanish, leaving awkwardness and distance in their place. This often feels draining and frustrating, as if you're pushing against a wall. Short conversations mean there's little depth or emotion behind the words. Instead of meaningful exchanges, talks become brief check-ins or surface-level updates that leave you feeling unsatisfied and unheard. When meaningful dialogue disappears, it's harder to maintain emotional intimacy because sharing feelings and thoughts is essential to feeling connected. Avoidance of conversation is even more telling. When your partner actively steers clear of discussions, especially about feelings, the relationship, or problems, it often indicates discomfort, fear, or lack of interest in addressing issues. This avoidance creates a growing silence between you, making it difficult to resolve conflicts or deepen your bond. This change in communication style usually doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow slide that can be overlooked until the gap becomes too wide. The root cause could be emotional withdrawal, unresolved conflicts, or simply losing interest in maintaining the relationship. Ultimately, communication is vital for keeping love alive. When it turns forced, brief, or avoided, it's a silent alarm that your partner's feelings may be fading. Recognizing this sign gives you a chance to address the problem, either by opening honest conversations or deciding if the emotional distance is too great to bridge. 6. They no longer include you in future plans. When your partner stops including you in their future plans, it's a quiet but powerful sign that their emotional commitment may be fading. In a loving relationship, planning for the future together, whether it's a weekend trip, a holiday, or even long-term goals, shows that both people see a shared path ahead. It reflects hope, trust, and a desire to build a life side by side. When you notice that you're no longer part of these conversations or decisions, it signals a growing distance. In the early days, couples naturally talk about what's coming next: plans, dreams, or simple activities. Being included in these discussions makes you feel valued, secure, and important. It's a reassurance that you're part of their world and future. But when your partner stops sharing these plans or actively excludes you, it can feel like being pushed out or forgotten. This exclusion can happen in subtle ways. Maybe they no longer ask if you're free for events or stop mentioning trips or goals they once discussed with you. Sometimes, they make decisions on their own without consulting you, which indicates they are thinking less and less about your role in their life. The emotional impact of being left out is profound. It can lead to feelings of rejection, confusion, and insecurity. You might start questioning where you stand and if your partner still sees you as a permanent part of their life. This lack of inclusion is often a sign that the relationship is no longer a priority for them. While everyone's future plans can't always perfectly align, consistent exclusion suggests that your partner's vision no longer includes you in the long run. Recognizing this sign is important because it's a warning that the foundation of your relationship, the shared future, is weakening. It may be time to have an honest conversation about where you both see the relationship heading and whether you're still on the same page emotionally and practically. 7. Their tone becomes cold or indifferent when speaking to you. When your partner's tone becomes cold or indifferent when speaking to you, it's a subtle but clear indication that the warmth and affection in the relationship are fading. The way someone speaks, their tone, inflection, and emotional energy, conveys much more than just words. It reflects their feelings, attitude, and level of engagement. When that tone shifts to something distant or detached, it signals emotional withdrawal. In loving relationships, conversations are usually filled with care, warmth, and interest. Even during disagreements, there's an underlying respect and desire to understand each other. But when your partner's voice sounds flat, harsh, or uninterested, it can make you feel unvalued and rejected. This change might come gradually, making it hard to pinpoint at first, but over time, the coldness becomes unmistakable. A cold or indifferent tone often replaces the gentle teasing, softness, or enthusiastic responses you're used to. Instead of expressing concern or empathy, your partner may respond with curt answers, sarcasm, or dismissive remarks. This can create an emotional barrier between you, making meaningful communication difficult or painful. The reasons for this shift can vary. It might stem from frustration, resentment, or anger that hasn't been addressed. Sometimes, it's a sign that your partner has emotionally checked out or is protecting themselves by becoming distant. Whatever the cause, the effect is the same. It undermines intimacy and connection. Hearing a cold tone repeatedly can erode your confidence and sense of security in the relationship. It sends the message that your feelings don't matter or that your partner no longer cares enough to communicate kindly. This silent emotional distancing is often one of the first signs that love is fading, and if left unaddressed, it can lead to further breakdowns in the relationship. Recognizing this tone change early gives you a chance to address the underlying issues, whether through honest conversations, counseling, or reassessing the relationship's future. It's a signal that something important is missing and needs attention before the gap grows too wide. 8. Compliments disappear and are replaced with criticism. When compliments disappear from your relationship and are replaced with criticism, it's a significant sign that the positive feelings and appreciation your partner once had are fading. Compliments, whether about your appearance, personality, or achievements, are simple but powerful ways to show love, admiration, and respect. They make you feel seen, valued, and cherished. When these kind words stop and criticism takes their place, it can feel like a sudden coldness or negativity creeping in. At the start of a relationship, partners often notice and celebrate each other's strengths and good qualities. Compliments flow naturally because there's genuine admiration and affection. But over time, if love diminishes, that appreciation can be replaced by nitpicking, pointing out flaws, or focusing on mistakes. This shift changes the tone of your interactions and can make you feel judged rather than loved. Criticism, especially when frequent or harsh, can wear down your self-esteem and create distance between you. It makes you second-guess yourself and wonder if you're enough. Instead of feeling supported, you might feel like you're constantly on trial. This emotional strain often signals underlying dissatisfaction or resentment that your partner isn't expressing directly. The disappearance of compliments and rise of criticism often indicate that your partner's mindset has shifted. They may no longer see you through loving eyes, or they might be frustrated with aspects of the relationship. Whatever the cause, the result is a negative cycle where connection weakens and emotional warmth fades. Recognizing this pattern early is important. It allows you to address the imbalance before it becomes the norm. Open communication about how criticism affects you and what you need from your partner can sometimes restore kindness and appreciation. If not, it might be a sign that the relationship needs deeper work or reconsideration. Either way, the loss of compliments replaced by criticism is a silent but powerful signal that the love you once shared is under strain. 9. They start making excuses to avoid spending time together. When your partner starts making excuses to avoid spending time together, it's a quiet but telling sign that their interest and emotional investment in the relationship may be dwindling. Spending time together is one of the most important ways couples maintain connection, share experiences, and build intimacy. When that shared time becomes rare or is consistently avoided, it often signals growing distance. At first, occasional cancellations or busy days are normal. Everyone has commitments and personal space needs. But when excuses become frequent, whether it's work, fatigue, social events, or vague reasons, it suggests that your partner is intentionally or subconsciously creating distance. They may be trying to avoid deepening the relationship or uncomfortable conversations. This avoidance can be painful because it sends a message that being with you is no longer a priority. It can leave you feeling unwanted, rejected, and lonely even when you're physically close. The time that was once spent laughing, talking, or simply being present now feels replaced by absence or distraction. Sometimes, people avoid time together because they are confused about their feelings or unsure about the relationship's future. Other times, it's a way to protect themselves from conflict or emotional vulnerability. Regardless of the reason, the pattern of making excuses is a red flag that emotional connection is weakening. Recognizing this sign early is important for addressing relationship issues. It opens the door to honest conversations about needs, feelings, and expectations. If your partner continues to avoid spending time without explanation or effort to reconnect, it may indicate deeper problems that require reflection or intervention. Ultimately, quality time together is a foundation of love and trust. When that foundation starts to crumble due to consistent avoidance, it's a silent warning that your relationship may be slipping away. 10. Your successes no longer excite or impress them. When your partner no longer gets excited or impressed by your successes, it's a subtle but meaningful sign that their emotional connection and enthusiasm for your happiness may be fading. In a healthy, loving relationship, your achievements, whether big or small, are celebrated together. Your partner's joy in your wins shows that they care deeply about your growth and well-being. If you notice that sharing good news no longer sparks smiles, congratulations, or genuine interest, it can feel disappointing and isolating. Instead of feeling proud and supported, you might sense indifference or even discomfort from them. This lack of enthusiasm can make you question if they still value your accomplishments or take pride in your growth. When excitement for your successes disappears, it often means that your partner's emotional investment has shifted. They may no longer see your goals as important or connected to the relationship. Sometimes this happens because their feelings have cooled, or because they are dealing with their own issues and can't celebrate with you as they once did. The absence of encouragement and shared joy can erode the positive energy in the relationship. It might make you feel undervalued or alone in your journey. Over time, this can weaken the bond, as partners ideally lift each other up and celebrate together. Recognizing this sign is important because celebrating each other's successes is a key part of mutual support and love. If this enthusiasm has faded, it's worth discussing with your partner to understand why and to see if the emotional connection can be rekindled. Without that shared excitement, the relationship risks losing the warmth and closeness that come from truly caring for one another's happiness. 11. They share personal details with others, not with you. When your partner starts sharing personal details with others instead of confiding in you, it's a subtle but significant sign that emotional intimacy between you may be weakening. In close relationships, partners typically turn to each other for support, understanding, and trust. Sharing personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences builds a unique bond and creates a safe space where both people feel valued and connected. If you notice that your partner is opening up more to friends, family, or even acquaintances about their fears, dreams, or struggles, while keeping you at arm's length, it can feel hurtful and alienating. This behavior suggests that they may no longer see you as their primary confidant or someone they deeply trust. It can create a sense of exclusion and loneliness, as though you're being shut out of their inner world. The reasons behind this shift can vary. Sometimes, it reflects emotional distance or growing dissatisfaction, causing your partner to seek connection elsewhere. Other times, they may feel misunderstood or judged by you, prompting them to look for support in other relationships. Whatever the cause, the act of sharing intimate details with others instead of you signals a breakdown in the emotional closeness that is vital for a healthy partnership. This change can erode the foundation of trust and understanding in your relationship. When personal sharing diminishes, so does the sense of partnership and mutual vulnerability. Over time, it can make it difficult to resolve conflicts, deepen your bond, or feel truly connected. Recognizing this sign early allows you to address the issue before the gap widens. Open communication about the importance of trust and sharing can sometimes help rebuild intimacy. However, if your partner continues to exclude you from their inner life, it may be a sign that their emotional investment in the relationship has weakened significantly. 12. Efforts to resolve conflicts become minimal or non-existent. When your partner's efforts to resolve conflicts become minimal or non-existent, it's a clear indication that their emotional investment in the relationship may be declining. Conflict is inevitable in any close relationship, but how partners handle disagreements reveals a lot about their commitment and care. When someone genuinely loves and values you, they usually try to work through problems, communicate openly, and find solutions that strengthen the bond. If you notice that your partner stops trying to address issues or avoid discussions altogether, it can feel frustrating and hurtful. They may dismiss your concerns, refuse to engage in meaningful conversations, or respond with silence and indifference. This lack of effort signals emotional withdrawal and a loss of willingness to invest time and energy into the relationship's health. Minimal conflict resolution often leads to unresolved resentment, misunderstandings, and growing distance. When problems pile up without being addressed, the relationship's foundation weakens, making it harder to maintain trust and intimacy. It can also leave you feeling isolated, as if you're the only one trying to keep things together. The reasons behind this behavior can vary. Sometimes your partner may feel overwhelmed, hopeless, or disconnected, believing that fixing issues isn't worth the effort. Other times, it's a way to protect themselves from emotional pain or confrontation. Regardless, the result is the same. The relationship suffers from a lack of communication and care. Recognizing this sign early is important because it's a signal that the relationship needs attention and possibly outside help, like counseling. If your partner consistently avoids resolving conflicts, it may be time to reassess the relationship's future or have honest conversations about each other's needs and willingness to work together. Effective conflict resolution is essential for maintaining love, trust, and connection, and without it, the relationship may be at risk. 13. They don't notice changes in your appearance or mood. When your partner stops noticing changes in your appearance or mood, it can be a subtle yet powerful sign that their emotional connection and attentiveness toward you are fading. In a caring and loving relationship, partners naturally observe and respond to each other's shifts. Whether it's a new haircut, a different outfit, or changes in mood like sadness, stress, or excitement. These small observations show that they are tuned into you and care about how you're feeling. If you find that your partner no longer comments on or acknowledges these changes, it can feel as if you've become invisible to them. Whether you're putting an effort to look nice or going through a tough time emotionally, The lack of notice can leave you feeling unappreciated and emotionally distant. It suggests they're no longer fully engaged or interested in the details that matter to you. This inattentiveness may happen gradually, making it easy to overlook at first. But over time, it builds a sense of neglect and emotional disconnect. You might wonder if they still care or if their feelings for you have cooled. Ignoring mood changes is particularly significant because it means your partner might not be providing the support or empathy you need during challenging times. There are various reasons why this might occur. Sometimes it's due to distraction or stress, but if it becomes a consistent pattern, it often points to emotional withdrawal or loss of interest. When your partner stops noticing the little things, it's a sign that the emotional intimacy in the relationship is diminishing. Recognizing this sign early can help you address the gap. It's important to communicate your feelings and let your partner know you need their attention and care. If the pattern continues despite your efforts, it might indicate deeper issues in the relationship that require reflection or outside support to repair. 14. I love you feels like a routine phrase, not genuine. When the phrase, I love you starts to feel like a routine or automatic statement rather than a genuine expression of feeling, it's a subtle but important sign that the emotional depth in your relationship may be fading. At the beginning of a relationship, these words often carry a lot of meaning and passion. They are said with warmth, sincerity, and often accompanied by actions that reinforce the sentiment. However, over time, if I love you becomes something said out of habit, obligation, or simply as part of daily routine, it can lose its emotional weight. Instead of feeling special and heartfelt, the phrase might start to sound empty or mechanical. This can leave you questioning whether your partner truly means it, or if it's just something they say because they feel they should. When expressions of love feel routine, it often reflects a deeper emotional distance or lack of connection. Your partner might be going through the motions of the relationship without feeling the same excitement or passion they once did. This can happen for various reasons: stress, unresolved conflicts, or simply growing apart emotionally. The impact of this feeling can be significant. Hearing "I love you" without the genuine feeling behind it can create doubt, insecurity, and sadness. It may make you feel like the relationship is more about habit than true love and connection. You might start to crave more meaningful gestures or words that demonstrate real affection and commitment. Recognizing this sign is important because it highlights a need for renewed emotional effort. Couples can work to bring back sincerity by communicating openly about their feelings, spending quality time together, and expressing love in varied and heartfelt ways. Without this effort, the phrase, I love you risks becoming hollow, signaling a relationship that is losing its emotional vitality. 15. You feel lonelier with them than when you're alone. Feeling lonelier with your partner than when you're alone is a deeply painful and revealing sign that the emotional connection in your relationship is seriously weakening. Relationships are supposed to provide companionship, comfort, and support, making you feel seen, understood, and less isolated. When being with your partner actually intensifies feelings of loneliness, it signals a profound disconnect. This loneliness can stem from many factors: lack of communication, emotional withdrawal, unresolved conflicts, or simply growing apart. When your partner is physically present but emotionally absent, it creates a hollow space where you crave intimacy but find emptiness instead. You might feel unheard, ignored, or invisible even when you're sharing the same room. Sometimes, the contrast between being alone and being with someone emotionally distant is stark. Alone, you might have your own space and peace, while with your partner, you experience frustration, sadness, or a sense of rejection. This can make you question why you stay in the relationship and whether your needs for love and connection are being met. This feeling is an urgent sign that something is seriously wrong. It's a call to reflect on your relationship's health and consider having honest conversations with your partner about how you feel. If the loneliness persists despite efforts to reconnect, it may indicate that the emotional bond has eroded beyond repair. Ultimately, a relationship should lessen loneliness, not increase it. When you feel lonelier with your partner than alone, it's a silent but powerful message that love and closeness are slipping away, and the relationship needs attention or reevaluation.